you picked up on this early. His use of the word legacy and mentioning legacy, like that didn't hit my ear in the same way that I think it does now, where it's saying that, hey, what happens to me over these next 10 years is yeah, you know what? It's important to every player that's on that team, and it's not more important to you than it is to them. Your career is probably going to get remembered more than most of those guys, but it doesn't mean it's more important.
It's not even probably. His career will be remembered more than anybody else. He is a quarterback, and that word did get annoying to me, even though I understand a quarterback wanting to be remembered as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. All right, well, Russell's already entered that conversation. Okay, so bare minimum, he will be remembered as a quarterback in some way, shape, or form. But acting as if he is a priority over the rest of the team is something that's happening when you talk about your own legacy publicly. That's something I feel like, at least for now, you keep it private. And the other thing is, too, Danny, this is a collaborative effort. Is there somebody on this team that doesn't want to win that I'm not aware of? Because they all want to make this thing work.
We've got a text here from the 757. I think you're right, Paul. Everybody does want to make it work. Here's the text. A high-ranking employee of 10 years giving some feedback or voicing a concern does not seem that outlandish. And I think that's fair.
Ray continued in this interview talking about how Russ bringing this word up, also not a great look for him.
Then this whole thing about his legacy, like, well, it would be my legacy too. Like, you know, like just because you make more money doesn't mean that your legacy is more important to you than mine is to me. And so to me, that sounds really selfish.
I'm tired of hearing that word, too.
You brought it up first. It didn't bother me a week and a half ago or 2 weeks, and I think I hear it differently now. Because you brought it up. Like, you said, like, hey, what does that mean? Like, what's he saying? I'm like, well, he's got ambitions. He wants to be one of the best ever. Like, I think you were right. And I do think you can think that way, but I don't think you should talk that way as a team leader because it does put yourself above the rest of the team.
100%. There are certain thoughts that you keep private, right? And I mean, this is akin to, we're talking about the 10-year employee. Imagine the 10-year employee all of a sudden in this meeting saying, you're not doing this right. You're not doing this right. My legacy's at stake, people. That's what this is.
Yeah, that wouldn't, if I was the coworker that was in there, even if I'd been there for 6 months, I was like, well, wow, what am I shooting for? I want you to acknowledge me in your retirement speech. Like, that's my incentive, is to be able to go, like, I hope you give me a shout out in the corporate magazine talking about how you got employee of the month, but you thank me for the work that yeah,